Hi, and welcome to WarHQ. My name is Lucious. Today I'm joined by Kaisel from WarHQ. I'm also joined by Scott Holmes, who is the community manager of Kill Team Manager.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Yeah. How are you going, Kaisel there, all right? His name's Scott too, so we're going to call him Kaisel today, just for everyone's reference, just so it's not confusing. So thanks for a start. Thanks for heaps for coming in and coming to our humble little station here and giving us an interview. It's our first one for WarHQ, so it's pretty cool for us. Yeah, you've got to start somewhere. That's exactly right. So today's subject, what we were going to do is we're going to cover Kill Team Manager, what it is. You're going to take us through a few of the features and stuff. We'll do like a bit of a screen share so the audience can see it. But we'll also be just having some general, talk about gaming, which is what I like to listen to as well. So I'm sure you're a gamer, I'm a gamer, Kaisel's a gamer. Interesting shit happens when you start talking about stuff like that. So so I mean, probably the first question I'd start with is so for those that don't know, maybe there's some gamers out there, some new to this channel. What is Kill Team Manager?
So Kill Team Manager is an app that we have, and you can build rosters, build lists, basically keep anything and everything for Kill Team Manager, or for Kill Team, I should say, in this app. So you can do multiple lists from multiple factions. There's a few really cool little features in there that I'll show you guys a little bit later. But basically, it's the one place you need to go to build any roster, any list for a Kill Team, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I know you from the tournament scene locally in Brisbane. Not that I'm local to Brisbane, but I've seen you at a few there. So I know you're an avid gamer. And that was the first app that I used as well. So Kill Team isn't that old. Hey, it's only not even 2 years old, I don't think, but it's getting there. So I remember when I first started, that was the first thing I went to as well, was Kill Team Manager. With you too, I think, Kaisel, right? I said, check this out. He got into it a little bit later than me. I was like, well, here you go. You can make your own teams on here. It's pretty cool. So as far as the project itself goes, what's your role within Kill Team Manager, and what do you do as far as its development, I guess?
So I would say that I'm the conduit between the developers and the community itself. So, I'll put out the post for releases. I'll take, suggestions, whatever bugs that people have found, and stack them in our lists, and let the guys get to them as we can. Some of the things that we found are a little bit more intense to get through, so we just sort of prioritize that. And then anything that the dev guys want me to put out to the community, I'm sort of saying I'm pretty much the conduit between the dev guys and the community itself.
Yeah, cool. And how many people have you got working in the team?
At the moment, we've got 4 or 5 people. We've got four dedicated guys. 3 of them are programmers, and then devs, and then 1 is me. And then we have one or 2 other guys that help whenever they can. But the main people at the moment are just the 4 of us. That's myself, and then Thomas and Jake, and Johnny. So yeah, we're just basically the 4 of us at the moment. But we're always keen for anyone else with a developing background to come and give us a hand to try and make it that little bit better every day. Yeah,
cool, man. Yeah, nice. So tell us a little bit about the actual history of Kill Team Manager, because having looked into it and knowing a little bit about it, we did see it was on a Kickstarter at one stage. There's been a couple of different reiterations of it. More recently, you've done an update, like a pretty big update, which has sort of brought it up to date with elites and annual and all that sort of stuff. So how did it actually form? What was the driving force between, why are we doing this now? What was the need that you saw, I guess?
So, I came into Kill Team Manager the way that you guys did. I found it. I was just a user. And basically everyone that is part of the team now was literally a user. So we picked it up at one point where one of the major updates for points, whatever else, came through, and we were waiting for the people that owned it before us to do the updates. A lot of questions were going in, and then we weren't getting many replies, and then they basically put a post up on the on their Facebook and said, look, we stopped playing Kill Team ages ago. We're not doing anything with it anymore. Whoever wants to have it, message us and then, we'll see what we can do. So basically from there, I put my hat in, basically, like I said, just for the conduit side between devs. So I sort of knew what I wanted. I have a little bit of an IT and networking background anyway, so I could, confidently do that. Thomas, he's the one that actually owns, or at the time owned it when it got shoved over to us, basically. So we've all just sort of picked up and run with what we had. And then once we figured out who and how we want to do things, then we put plans to do the updates and try and get it as far as we can. We wanted to stop the list loss. So when we were doing updates for a while, everyone was losing their lists.
Yeah, I remember that. When that was going on.
And that was such a pain in the ass. And the boys did a heap of background work, and that took a lot of time. And that was the time where we sort of fell off a little bit. We weren't posting a lot because the guys were just hard at it.
Yeah, I remember last time I talked to you at the tournament we were at, and you were saying that. You said you showed me the list on your phone of all the updates, all the fixes and bugs you had to go through, and I'm like, you poor bastard.
Yeah.
So, obviously a bit there.
Yeah, the guys did awesome work, and since we've done that, we've been able to do updates a lot more. We can push updates out that don't wreck everyone's life. Because, I know that there's guys that just sit there and will play with lists and have 20 or 30 lists and just play with, what about this? And
Yep, me. Yeah. But I've got into the habit of backing it up, like, because you've got the PDF export option. I always do that with any list that I like, and I make sure I back it up on my computer before. I got into that habit anyway. So
it's like I said, it was so frustrating, not just for everyone out there, but for us as well, because we're trying to make it the best we can, and we keep shooting ourselves in the foot. So once that came along, that was a game changer for us. From there, we had so much more exposure. A lot more people started to come over because that was what was holding a lot of people back. So, once they realized that was happening, now everything was good. So we're just at the moment plodding through some fairly large back-end stuff again. Yep. The boys are working on that all the time. And yeah, that's sort of where we're at the moment, is that we've done as many updates as we can. We've got a few plans ahead. We're looking to, for myself, if I have a list that I've done up and I send it to you, Luke. Yep. When you hit that link, instead of it just coming up as a PDF, we're working to bring it up in the app straight away. Right. That's cool. That's one of the things. And that's a fairly big one for the boys to get their head around. But yeah, I think I've rambled on enough about that.
So your latest update is 2.17, is that true?
So that's in
Android.
Yeah, on Android and finally on iOS. My last post about 217 said that it was all good, and then I sort of tripped myself up because Apple stalled it for a little bit. They can be a bit of a pain in the ass to let things through. Yep. But yeah, now 2.17 is beta, and that should be released properly soon. Yeah.
Yeah, I know about the whole Apple process for submitting apps. Like, I had one come back that it was too simple, they said. The whole thing is the app was meant to be simple. Like
Apple simple?
Yeah, I know. It's
something. Yeah.
It's just, I'm fairly sure that if I put a button in there that made a noise or something that made people laugh, it would have been accepted straight away. But no, like it was just a password manager app type thing that it was meant to be simple, didn't have any type of storage, had an algorithm that basically just, you put in like the domain and that sort of stuff, and like 3 key things, and it spit out a password. And as long as anyone had those 3 exact key things per domain, they could get your password. But the whole thing, the chance of someone having those 3 different factors is slim to nil. And it was too simple, so they just said no. So I know that pain.
Sounds useful.
Yeah, no, that sounds like normal Apple shit to me, to be honest. Yeah.
So, what does being like an app developer now, I guess, entail from a technical, from a business, I guess you'd say, side or perspective?
So, basically, we don't want it to be. We're not really business focused, to be honest.
I figured, I mean, if we're going to make money out of Kill Team, Jesus, come on, take a second mortgage on your cardboard box,
That's,
it's like
like we just want to be taking everything that we can from the community and implementing it as best we can. We've had a few really good suggestions, and that, like I said, we are going to be forming a not-for-profit, so that when we have a Patreon as well. But
we'll put a link to that as well down here.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But because Thomas is French, we need to set it up in France, basically. And there's some hoops and stuff that we need to jump through that we're pretty much just at the end of, which relates around the fact that, yes, we have the Patreon, but legally we're not allowed to access that money until we're registered. So that's probably the only businessy thing that we do is, we'll use that money to put back into the app. So,
but other than that, your role, you're basically getting all the changes, the feedback, and you're applying that and giving that to the developers who then are going and making fixes.
So even some of the Jake and Thomas, they have a look as well. They'll see what, even just on the Facebook page, they'll see a few comments if I haven't got one. Because of the time lag, when I'm asleep, they're awake, and when it sort of flicks. So there's a couple of times where they'll jump in or whatever else, but we're really just here to try and make it the best we can, as smooth as we can, with the least amount of stuff ups as we can. And like I said, just make it a really polished product for the community, really.
Sure. And you were talking about updates, and you said there was that one where you could share your team between people. Is anything else that you want to share, the coming up or anything like that, or you want to elaborate on that one?
That's probably the biggest one that we're working on at the moment. That in itself is a rewrite behind the scenes.
Yep.
And to get that done is pretty much that's our next big one, to be honest. The 2 bugs that we're working on mainly at the moment is the Corn Berserker app. The Corn Berserker selection, where if you select him and then the app will freeze.
Yep.
And then there's another one for the Tau suits, that there's just so many options that it takes forever and a day to actually select, and sometimes it will freeze and crash the app as well. So as far as where we're at the moment and working towards, there are 3 main things.
Cool.
Do Tau players play anything but drones?
Hey.
Look, let's not get into shit.
7 points is illegal, okay? It's legit. 7-point drones. It's not overpowered. Don't give me that bullshit.
But yeah, that Corn Berserker thing, I saw that bug. Yeah. So, all right.
We're both HA players as well. I've got 11 kill teams now. I think Kaisel's got, what do you got, 6 or 7?
6 or 7, yeah.
What do you want, Scott? You got a few, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I know you're a Marine player, aren't you? You like your Marines.
I am. Yeah, so at the moment, done up, I've got the Imperial Guard guys, I've got my Death Guard guys, I've got my Nurgle guys. So they're my 3, but I've got little tubs of Grey Knights and Thousand Suns, and they're just little tubs of teams just stacked up, ready for me.
Sounds like my bloody house, yeah.
Yeah, just
My wife is ready to divorce me, man. It's like I have to like ninja down to the post office every time. You know what I mean? I know that something's coming from overseas. I buy secondhand everything, and it's like I know something's there, and I've got all little tubs, and I hide them, and then I bring something else in the house. I'm sure all you gamer guys out there and girls can sympathise with me.
I can tell you that I had a conversation that was literally 30 seconds where my partner walked in and said, "So what does $200 look like?" And I pointed at like two paintbrushes, and it was just like, walk away.
Yeah.
Dude, we're all in the same boat.
I did that.
Yeah.
I did that the other day.
Like I have a crack habit, like it's plastic crack. It's not actual crack. So
plastic crack and resin heroin, and then and that's it.
That's right.
I did that the other day. I went down to Irresistible Force just to get some terrain, and came back with like $200 worth of stuff. And I'm like, I shouldn't have done that.
That's where I went down to see the lads down there. I hadn't been in there for a while, and same deal. I just sort of walked in and started picking stuff off the shelves as I'm walking around. Like I need that, need a needle for airbrush, need this, like just little bits, and then ends up this mound of stuff, and you just burn the card and cry and try and hide.
I'm just resigned to online at the moment. Closest game shop is you guys up there, so it's about 200 and some case.
Oh, that's right. You're down in. Yeah, you're down further.
So the game's still online at the moment. Yeah, it's good to get my nephew here. I play with him a bit, so we can cast and some stuff on. But other than that, it's a bit dismal. So I figure. So riddle me this, Batman. So I'll go through a couple of these sort of standard questions, and you can answer them as elaborately as you want. We sort of talked a little bit about the business. We'll go through the app pretty soon. But we'll go through some of these questions, I think, just for general talking. We might say. So, if you could add or change anything in Kill Team, what would it be?
To be honest, it would only be something really minor, which would be to be able to change the color inside the app. Instead of having a blue background, like have it purple or green or whatever. Just a little. Just something small, or the fact that you can, if you do up one team, you'll have a purple background, and another team will have a green background, or whatever else. For me, that's because I know what's coming up. Those boxes have sort of already been ticked.
Yeah.
But I'm like I would love to see a little bit more from the presentation side, to be honest. But, we're working towards that. But, a colour change would be nice, or the ability to change colours.
Yeah. I suppose there's always that option or idea anyway. I mean, it might be a bit difficult, like memory-wise and stuff, but of that uploading your figure or something would be cool. You know what I mean? Like you could see
That's not a bad idea either,
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
I think, that was Kais was talking about that before. So that'd be a cool thing.
I'm going to write that down right now.
Right, no. You're good. No. It's not a bad idea, really.
So the main issue.
Just something I thought of. Yeah. Probably. I think Kais will thought of that. It could be bad. I'm like, it's pretty good.
Yeah. One of the things like I was thinking about ages ago was the ability to. Well, I know that like there's trademark issues with like logos and that, but there's nothing stopping an end user uploading their thing.
Miniature.
So
painted it.
Yeah. And also, it also gives a customization that you can go, okay, I have three, chaos cultists, which you're not going to have three, you're going to have more than that. But let's just say you have 10 individually like painted ones. You've all named them and that sort of stuff. You could put each individual photo on.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
So
I don't know how you go with a memory thing and you take a lot more process, I guess.
To be honest, guys, I'm actually going to take that back to them and see how they can implement that. And
you have to sort of add the image a little to downscale.
It would have to be scaled down to a point. But I'm taking that back to the guys. Thanks for that.
Yeah, no worries. Didn't expect to give you any new ideas. It was just an idea we were talking about it all.
Yeah.
From a developer perspective, because I also do development as a day job as well. Like, I don't think that's too hard to do. It just depends on when you're talking about the sharing of lists. If you were sharing lists and also sharing the imagery, you would need the images to be hosted elsewhere rather than stored in storage. So there are ways around that by I'm getting technical here, basically base64 encoding the image and sending the data across as a stream and that sort of stuff. So there are ways of doing it, but it depends on the size of the list packet you want to send across.
See, in saying that too, if I send you my list with my pictures, you would need to take them out and then put your own in. So it'd be data that would not really be needed anyway.
Yeah.
So, you know, we could, like I said, I could talk to the guys and see what sort of workaround we could make, and
Yeah, just an idea. I'm sure you're all over it.
There's lists, and like I said, the one thing that I in saying that, you know, what would I want to do? It's not so much for the app, but I would love for the community to be able to jump in and help us out a little bit more. You know, we went open source a little while ago, a few weeks ago, I would say. And we really haven't had much uptake. Like, a lot of people have asked for it, but once we have implemented it, there hasn't been a lot of uptake. So that would probably be my big, what I want to change is to have a few more people help us out.
And yeah, and what are the best ways? Like, you want to give that a bit of a plug now while we're talking about it, probably the best. What are the best ways that people could assist? Can they find that information?
They can message me straight through, you know, from Facebook Messenger.
Yep.
You know, give me a rundown on what their skill set is. You know, I can pass it on to the guys and see if that's what they need. You know, we've put a few posts out previously about what we want, what we need. It's not even a want; it's what you need to have skill sets in. So yeah, that would probably be it. Would be a little bit more community help would be lovely.
Yeah, no worries, man.
I'm probably gonna
Facebook's the best way to go through that.
Yeah.
Doing that now, Scott.
No, I'm probably going to shoot myself in the foot and say that I'm actually looking for the repo at the moment. So I had no clue that you open sourced it.
Yeah,
so did that. Yeah, I didn't know.
Let me just have a look myself. I've got a whole like folder of Kill Team Manager stuff. So yeah, it's all up on
GitHub.
Up on GitHub.
Yep, I've got it.
Yep, that's cool. We'll sort that out.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Is there any other things you want to talk about with the Kill Team Manager program? We've covered a fair bit. I've gone through what it is.
We have a little bit, yeah. How about I'll run you through a list, and
I think that'd be helpful for people who haven't used it and to show some of the new features and maybe some stuff they've missed. I didn't realize I could export things for the first 10 days I used it, and then I went, "Oh, you idiot! I can actually get this and print it." But I'm a bit of a local anyway, so I think that'd be a good move.
All right, so we'll go and select a new team. We'll go with Death Guard. So from here, you can rename your Death Guard. Mine are called the Amethystine Accord, and all my Death Guard guys are purple, so I love it. So from here you can just add your members. We'll go with the Plague Champion, a Plague Marine Gunner, and just a normal Plague Marine. So from here we'll click on the Plague Champion. And that brings up your stats here. You've got your tabs down here for your narrative or your campaigns, and then scroll down here. This is where you select, or you can view the abilities. So that's straight in there. From there, you can also change weapons, and this lists every possible combination for that model. There are some models where you can't change change the weapons, and then all you'll see is required weapons and nothing else, basically. So we'll go back. We'll go Plague Knife and Plasma Gun. So you just flick the little tab, go back, and then it'll automatically fill the sheet there. From there, you can do your specialties as well. And this is something that a lot of people, had tripped up on. When they see that, when they get to there, they're not sure where to go. From here, you literally just click on none, and it brings up the selection of what you can, what you can designate as a specialty for that model. So we'll go with him as a leader. Go back. And there we go. So the Plague Champ,
that updates the information on the actual sheet.
You can also when you go into the sheet, you can rename your model as well.
Bilius Maximus, or something.
And then so here is the roster. So this can flick between your command roster or just a kill team in its own, or a fire team. So from here, if you've got all your poxwalkers, whatever other combinations you've got, whether you've got guys with flails or whatever, you can put them in here, and then once you flick that roster, bring up your 100 points, your 125 points, 200 points, whatever you're doing, and then just do that. And then what you can also do from there, once you've done that and you've got the amount of points you want, just go in game. So you can do it as a PDF, like we were saying earlier, Luke.
Yep.
View the tactics, and this is what I love is the in-game menu.
Yeah, nice.
So from here, and this is where you can track, experience again for your campaigns or your narratives or your flesh wounds. So as you're going through, and this is what I like. I'll take I just saw, I'll bring an iPad and just start flicking.
Bring a tablet, and you can. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So, you note your flesh wounds there, select between, who you're doing with at the moment. It's got all their rules, whatever they have. And that's sort of the works and jerks of it. From there, you can do it as a PDF with different types, whichever way you want to. If it's just for you to print out, or whether it's something, you're doing for a command roster that you can, email to yourself or whatever, you can generate the PDF. And once again, the tactics of the Death Guard for this, once it comes up, there we go. So this is all the, all the tactics that they can have, whether it doesn't matter in this part, whether you've got them in your command roster or your fire team, doesn't matter. It's got the costs for, your CP and whatever else in there as well. So that gives you another book that you're not having to sort of carry around with you, between.
But you could also print it out and carry it around with you if you wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're old school like me and you've got to have a little folder and be the nerd, with all the stuff, then you can if you want to. Or you can be your tech and have your tablet and I like that option. So, it's really good.
Yeah, and that's one of the other things that I like about Kill Team Manager, in that it's fairly intuitive. Like I said, apart from the part where we're selecting specialties and whatever else, the rest of it is fairly intuitive. So what I'll do is I'll go back, and I just wanted to throw up here. So we've got a little part in here where we can select languages as well. So we've got 3 at the moment.
Awesome.
And version number, and this is all us guys. So Thomas, he's probably he's the one that took over the app in the first place, from the previous owners. And then you got myself, and then Johnny and Jake. So we're the ones that are doing the most work at the moment. We've got a few of the other guys that in the past have come in and helped us with whenever they can. And then, taking a step back and, they'll contact us at sporadic points to, throw, I've got a couple of weeks. What can I help you with?
Cool.
So anyone that helps us out, that does a really, that provides a lot for us, we're happy to credit them and give thanks to them, because, without other people helping us, we wouldn't be as far as we are right now.
Yeah, no, that's good, man.
So that's pretty much a quick run through. Now we have got, I'll just go through all the factions here. So we've got the latest update that we did. We added in the sisters, and we've got
demons. I think you put in.
Oh yeah, demons as well. Yeah, so chaos demons.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I remember there wasn't demons for the longest time, and I took one to a tournament.
Yeah,
bugger, you don't have it back then.
Yeah. And one of the guys at my local game store that we play on a Tuesday night, he runs demons as well. And believe me, he was one of the most vocal. He's like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, it's like the best team, people. Come on.
Yeah. So we're super happy that we've got everything in there at the moment. We've got the factions from Rogue Trader as well, and even the stuff from some of the previous White Dwarfs, and even the annual
Crute.
The Crute, yeah. That was
OP as fuck team, yeah.
Especially with the Crude Hound, just sit the Crude Hound right at the back.
Yeah,
and
it's the only good weapon they have.
Yeah. So like I was saying, the app is fairly simple. It's easy to use. We just want to put the best thing out there for us, or for everyone, really.
No, man. I've been impressed since day one. I love it myself and use it. It's my go-to app. So, thanks heaps for giving us that walkthrough of it. We really appreciate it. I'm sure people will benefit who are listening as well. There's a lot of new Kill Team players I'm talking to all the time. They're looking for advice. This is a really good way that they could get together. They could get their teams together. They can look at some of the videos of WarHQ and other excellent content creators make out there on rosters and builds, and go for it.
So that's pretty much it. There's not a real lot else that I can show you guys for the app.
Yep, I think that's a pretty good roundup of it anyway. And you can save multiple teams. You've fixed the problems that had the dropouts with the teams. That's all fixed now. So which I've noticed, which is great. When you put the new update as well, it didn't delete your existing teams as well, which was awesome. I was really happy about that. I had a few gems that I'd had stored in there, and I'd forgot all about it, and then hit update, and I'm like, oh, you idiot! But it was all good. So thanks for that.
I was the same. Like when I just joined the team, I'd be like, yeah, cool, and then I'd do the update, and I'm like, oh damn it, that's right. Why didn't I take a screen dump?
Yeah.
all these other things that you would do just to get around it. So and it just took time. It was just a pain in the ass. So having that now is the biggest thing for us.
Yeah, fantastic, man. Alrighty, so what we're hearing. Well, this is our first interview, so but this is what we'll do in the future as well. As we're going to go through just for a bit of fun. We're all gamers, and we're just going to talk a bit of gaming questions and just go over what you like. You're obviously into the hobby like we are. We see around. So let's do it. So I think first question: favorite faction and why in Kill Team, obviously.
Favorite faction's Death Guard.
Death Guard.
Yeah. I love the gore and the pestilence and just the filth and the infection and just the nastiness of it. I've listened to a few audiobooks, like Lords of Silence and things like that, and the way that it's described and the way that it comes about, and not just that, but when someone gets taken and how they get changed into like a poxwalker or whatever else. That sort of stuff is really cool for me.
Yeah, cool. What about you, Castle? What's yours? You like Death Guard as well, but
I was about
the most models of Death Guard, including all those Asian ones you got over in Japan when you're there. That box set.
Oh, hang on. Have you got Series 3 stuff?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you did. You went to Japan before this crap happened. Yeah.
I was about to say,
a massive Death Guard collection.
Yeah, I was just about to say that the Great Cleaver is definitely like the shiner for me. Like, I love that thing.
Yeah. I can't say I've struggled playing against Death Guard too much. They can have that like strong model, lots of weak model, kind of like Tyranids. I find they're very similar. But yeah, I'm definitely a Chaos player. I hate Imperial. Like I only have Admech. I think is the only Imperium team I have. Oh, and I do have Imperial Space Marines, but I don't really. I just lose a lot with him. But I need to be a better player for that, I guess. But Xenos, I think probably Drakari. I like demons. I like Heretic Astartes as well.
Yeah,
Chaos
I did run a Drakari list just at the local game store for a little while, and I binned it. Like I couldn't. My head didn't get around how to make them work. So that's right. For me. Yeah, that was sort of a little bit easier to play as well.
Yeah, I think HA, like as far as the Chaos factions go, like you've got Thousand Suns have that. They're all Psychers, they're awesome. You know what I mean? Or two of them are Psychers. You've got you're disgustingly resilient with all your Nurgle stuff and your Death Guard. HA really haven't had that input. They have a few things. I've been playing around with it a lot. And a lot of people, I mean, I don't know, you guys all might realize, but you can use multiple different gods, like different marks of gods for your different team members. So have a look at the tact. What I've noticed, I'm going to do a video this one soon. I'm just still doing. I like to when I do a roster build. I like to I like to have all the models there so everyone can see it. And it inspires me to get my shit together to actually do a video on it too. So the next one is going to be Slaanesh Gunners. There's a special rule in there if you're got a Slaanesh Chaos god, that's who you worship. You can for 2 command you can shoot again, which is powerful for HA because you can get like the wicked autocannons and shit. So that is pretty cool. That's a little thing, and you can also mix berserkers in that and take one of those other factions, which is just a generic one where you can get like the charge rerolls and that and design a close combat team and Terminators I've had a lot of success with Terminators with the Reaper autocannon. Yeah, we did a we just we just in our live stream we did with Tabletop Simulator. I used that and had a Terminator. We were playing against Scott there with Necron, and it was great. It's hard to kill, like unless you're bringing really high AP stuff. It was great. I just sat it back with the autocannon and just right. It was pretty cool. And it's just one of those models you can do a few things with it. It's not too bad, not too expensive for the Terminators. HA, but I think my main thing that I want to see is Noise Marines. I'm a Slaanesh. I love Slaanesh. And I love the Noise Marines. Like I've been doing the Games Workshop thing since the 80s, and that's what I loved all that stuff. I love the original sculpt they did. I've got the new one. Actually, Castle bought it for me for I think it was my birthday or Christmas. I can't remember the new one. I didn't even know they had it. So I'm still working on that. I'm actually going to proxy that in my HA list as an autocannon. Cool. Yeah, just the guitar dude.
I think I've got him still in plastic up in the shade.
The original one or the new one?
No, the new one. I've got one of the old ones where the dude had like with the round speaker in his mouth, and then the I've got one of those models. But yeah, no, I've got I'm too scared to paint it the way I want it because I'm not good enough.
Yeah, I've been thinking that too. Lots of leopard, lots of bright color. With my HA, I've sort of made them. They're real bright anyway. I've made these Vorpal pink colors that sort of come out of their shoulder pads and. They're quite bright anyway, so it's a pretty fun list to do. And I'm actually at the moment collecting an Epic Armageddon Emperor's Children list as well. So that's I do like my HA stuff.
Cool.
But
that's most of the shame that I've got up behind me there is the fact that I want to paint it. I'm just not confident in it right now. Yeah,
I got this thing where instead of like you watch TV with a family and that I have my little table that I bought myself that I set up out near the TV, and I try and get one painted every night, even if it's just like base coat a few, or I just do one color and everything. And if I do one thing a night, I tend to find that in a few weeks you've nearly got a whole team done. You know what I mean? Like that's how I work anyway.
Yeah, I've got a similar little setup like beside the couch. I've got it's literally about this wide and the depth of the lounge, so I've sort of built it up. And I've also got like a little platform that I can spin out with the light on it. So I've got like a little desk in front of me as well.
Yeah.
I've got this whole little hobby thing in the corner of the lounge room. It's really cool.
Mine's portable because my wife just yells at me if I leave that shit out there. So that's why I have my own little den here, which looks like a pit. So, So, you got the next question there, Kyle?
Yeah, well, it's basically the same question, but like, what's your least favorite faction? Like, what have you come against or that you've hated? Like, if someone was just to throw it on the table, you're like, oh no, not these again. Or just one that you've tried and you've just haven't made it work and it just
you
failed.
Just don't like the aesthetic.
Yeah.
Straight away is Drukhari. I cannot make those ones work yet.
Really?
Yeah, like I've used Witches and Cavalite Warriors combined, and I haven't found something that I can...
I've got a solution for you here, Scott.
Oh.
You've got to watch my Drukhari roster. But it goes through the little hidden M within the Drukhari is the Mandrake. The Mandrake is the linchpin between all of it. It is the best model in the Drukhari team. And yeah, as far as the roster build goes, check out the video. I mean, I'm not trying to promoting. Yeah, fuck the world, I'm so promoting. We're only a little channel. But yeah, check it out. I actually put the list. I actually put the list that I took to the last tournament. Did really well on there, and it's good. It's basically centered around Mandrakes, and then I've got my Witches, I've got my Cablites, and I've also got the Racks. So, and what I do is I can take an individual one for each of those, and because they're blades for hire, you can take the individual ones with Witches, and you can have their particular thing, like the Curse Blade and that. Or you can have whatever you want as a sub-faction, or you can take soup mixes. So you can just take the Mandrakes mixed with the best of everything. And I was taking elite lists. So I was taking lists like you'd say, I call it my Drukhari Azurani list, where you've got all your Exarch warriors, but you're taking all of the best of the Drukhari with Mandrakes, and it's kick-ass. It's nearly as good as it's probably good, nearly as good as Azurani. I'm going to say just slightly less because Azurani are pretty OP and they're winning everything everywhere, but that could be players too. All good players don't seem to play elves for some reason, but that check that out. But Mandrakes, try Mandrakes if you like Drukhari like I do. They're one of my favorites, and I love the lore.
I love the models. That's what drew me to them first, and then the actually playing with them was the second part, and then I was just coming like brick wall. I just couldn't do it. I'm just dying left, right, and centre.
Yeah. What about you, Castle? What do you like? Anything I play?
I don't think I've come across that many. I'm still hitting a lot of factions that I've never played against before. The last tournament, I think I went up against 2 Tyrannid players. I'd never played them. I'm like, holy crap, shitting bricks, basically coming onto the board, and I didn't actually struggle with them. So I don't really have a faction at the moment that is the thing I hate playing.
Is there one that you hate the look of? Or hate the idea of?
I would say for me it would be Necrons, because I haven't played them a lot. So if someone fronts up with them, I'm like, shit, because I don't know enough about them to counter them.
Yeah. Yep. That's Kaisel's first team. That's what he that's he went to his first tournament with him as well. Took the whole actually, was it the last one, dude? Yeah, and you took the whole Flayed One list. Now I don't know if you know, I'm sure you do, Scott, you read all this. The Flayed Ones are broken. And you can get them to reroll all hits and all wounds if you take the right sub-faction. So they reroll all hits, reroll all wounds. It's totally broken. They've got 3 attacks each. The only thing they lack in is movement, they're a bit slow, and AP, they have no AP. Besides those 2 things, it's probably the best unit in the game for the points. It's totally retarded. You play, I played against Scott before. I took Orcs, I think, and I love Orcs. And Kaisel had his just all Flayed One team and just wrecked me. I couldn't do anything. It was like you're literally sitting there, and every roll he does, he gets to reroll, and then all the wounds he does, he gets to reroll, and you're sitting there just going. And I've only got an armor save of 6 with an Orc.
6 up,
shit. It just went downhill real quick. It was just like a green tide of blood.
Yeah.
But I changed my tactic after that, fighting him with Orcs. But it was a rude awakening. It's a little bit broken, that one. It's a little gem not a lot of people know about.
Yeah, I took that to not the last tournament at Mount Gravatt, but the tournament before that. And I'm just going to assume that people didn't know about the Flayed Ones then, because I just put them on the board and just had people crying by the end.
Yeah, it's like, why are you re-rolling? Well, it's in the rules right here. Why are you re-rolling that now? Yeah, the rules right here.
I rolled a 6. Why are you coming back again? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. That's what I hate about Necrons.
And you can do some real fun in games because I only realized this a little bit after as well. Like the whole you can re-roll 6 on to re-raise them. So you tell your opponent that, and they're like, oh yeah, like I could save that reroll, or I could use that reroll. All of the time, you sit there making them just drop their CP by 1, so they can't challenge a decisive strike, which then leads into other stuff. So it ends up with mind games with that faction.
Another thing we say is with the Slanesh Emperor's Children as a sub-faction or Legion trait, you can any model that is like within 1 inch of an enemy at the beginning of the turn is classed as having charge. So if you're going to make a close combat sort of faction, which I've sort of done one of my Slanesh teams that I've been working, all your models are classed as charged if they're within 1 of an enemy, which is really strong. It means you're charging, even if you're just melee the second turn, everyone's alive, you've charged, which is mad. I quite like that one. Yeah, there's a couple of little HA gems. Not a lot of people play them. So they do seem weak on the surface, like everything else seems to have better rules, all the other chaos guys. There are some stuff. I'm hoping they're going to bring out some other things. If you could have Chaos Demons with HA, I think that'd be the ultimate team. I think they'd be kick-ass because and you've got those cheaper models that are better than any cult or anything you could possibly have.
Yeah, because you got like your pink horrors that, as you're shooting them, they're turning into more models on objectives. Like you literally can't shoot them off an objective. It's near impossible to do it in 3, 4, 5 turns. Yep.
I've got a lot of good strategy ones on this one, and then also the Khorne demons, the Bloodletter. They are marine killers, man. Like they're literally like their base weapon set is -3 AP. They've got a 3 up to hit. If they roll a 6 on wound, they do 2 damage, and you can also go cleaving blow tactic, which makes them up to 3 damage. But they're just totally brutal for 7 points. A lot of people are overlooking that one. Like that's what I took to the tournament. I got equal first in the tournament we took them to, and they're brutal. Hey? Like people are just like, "What? My Terminator's dead by 1 7-point model in the first turn." It's like, what the hell? That rude awakening.
You came equal first with Sam, I think.
Yeah, it's against Tyranids.
Yeah, that was Sam. Yeah, he's one of the.
Sam's really cool. I'm going to get him on because we've both. Scott and I we're collecting Tyranids at the moment together, and I've been doing a series of videos on Tyranids, collecting them and my thoughts and stuff. But I'll probably get on him because he's a really good Tyranid player, and we'll probably have a chat with him. At some stage, I'll have a chat with him and about what we chose, what he chose, what he thinks is best, and I've played him competitively too. And so's Scott actually.
I did.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you played him before. I'm like, dude, you've got to beat him, otherwise we're going to be I said you've got to beat him. But so it was good. He's a good player.
Yeah, well, so I'll talk about that, but this will lead into the next question a bit, as well, which I'm just going to take from Luke since we're talking about this anyway. And it's basically like, what's your most memorable moment during a competition play? And that's probably versing him was probably one of my most favorite moments because he just rushed me with Tyranids, and I think I want to say I was Necrons. And he started going down the sides, and I was able to position myself in a way that it blocked him from going down the sides. I'm fairly sure this was the one where you have to get
the models off the table.
Off the table. So that blocked him in there, causing him to go down the middle, and all of a sudden my my main force is coming up the middle, and there was no way that he could do it. But in the end, he won on points. And it was only if I had killed one model that last turn, it would have drew, and it was just such a close. And this was again the second time I've ever played Tyranids, so like that to me was probably my most memorable moment at the moment. So
yeah, it's a funny one. It's actually playing him again, and that was the game after you. I've got a moment from that one, which was really cool, and it's only because I was playing Chaos Demons. And we just stalled each other the whole time, and we were equal points. We couldn't get a one up on each other. We both had horde lists. It was just nothing was, we couldn't we killed a lot of models each. We couldn't break each other. It was great. We got to turn 4, and then my chaos leader had been alive this whole time, and then he did. I forget what was one of those gnarly. It might have been the venom cannon or something. And he finally got a good shot on my my leader, and then he did 3 damage, and then rolled the dice for injury, and he got 666, and it was my Chaos Demon leader, and I was like, good shit. Yeah. And I remember that moment. From then on, I didn't care if I won or lost. It was like, you rolled 666 and killed my Chaos leader. That's all I really care about at this stage. So, been a bit of a metalhead, so it was like, What about you, Scott? You've been at a few tournaments. We've seen you there. I don't think I've actually played you. I don't.
No, we haven't come up against each other,
which is weird because
probably my best time was when I started learning. The other guys that I play with, like I said, when we were learning, we're still going through the motions, and we were just screwing up completely. Like, we'd move and then charge on top of that, still with that 40k mentality, and learning the new game and learning a new way to play. That's probably that's my best memory. As far as a game, it was in one of the Mount Combat tournaments where basically I just rushed all my Poxwalkers around and just bubble wrap the center objective and put my my blight launchers on the outsides and just had firing lanes and just left the Poxwalkers there to just to hold and bubble wrap and just to wind down the turns, and then just blight launchers just down the sides. And that was that was once I'd moved them into there, when you get to a point in a game and unless you're going to roll really, really shit dice, that you've pretty much got it.
You're pretty much good in the bag, and yeah.
So that was I think that was against Eldar as well, I think. But that was when you get to that point and you're just like, all right, just don't.
I got this, baby. Yeah, don't muff up.
And you're sweet and you're good, and it came off. So
Scott, what would you consider to be the best overall unit within Kill Team? It doesn't have to be like the most powerful, but like maybe accounting for price, effective. It's fun to play. It's aesthetic if you want to go that far. But what do you think is the best overall model from any team? What do you think would be your choice?
I like my Scions. I use them in a tournament. They're pretty cheap to do. Plus with the command point where you can just drop them pretty much anywhere, teleport in. I was dropping in three Scions with 3 plasma guns. And literally, not even in a clump, but, in different spots on the board, just far enough away.
And were the tiers of the Marine players following as the 3 plasmas appeared around them?
Literally, like just picking them off from behind because, they're looking forward about where I am. And then I've just dropped these 3 dudes that are deadly as hell. Base ballistic is a 3-up, I think, on a Scion still.
Scion.
Yeah, and it was just wrecking people, and even overcharging, and he died. It's really no skin because it's a minimal point cost.
It's a guardsman, right?
It's like,
we got plenty more back here.
But that's the most fun unit to play, or
so you definitely overcharge, like you overcharge, not overcharge. You're a pro overcharger.
Not all the time, but
depends on your break point, right?
if I need to, if I'm really wanting to get something off the table,
pivotal,
and it depends. Like I can drop them as a group of 3, and just take a big model out. Like some of Sam's bigger units. That's what I'd have to be doing. Like I'd be dropping these guys behind, and just hoping that the dice will come off so I can get that model off the table as soon as I can because it's just hell.
Yeah,
basically.
No, that's right. Especially those big warrior bugs and stuff. Yeah.
So like guard in particular, in themselves can just do their 4-ups and whatever and hold lines. But my Scions were the ones that would win me. Win me a game. In the flip to that, if it doesn't come off, I'm done. Like that's the other part. Like you need to get those guys in and get them killing stuff, because if they don't in that first or second,
you're just going to get picked off.
You're going to get done. Yeah.
I'm more for. I'm a very aggressive player too. I just like to get in and get shit killed because you only got 4 turns. A lot of people forget that. It's like get the shit done, Like it's going to be done today, not 3 turns from now.
That's it.
You've lost points. You look back and go, oh shit, I don't have any points. What's going on?
Like I'm on turn 2 and I've got nothing, and you're pushing shit uphill, really.
Yeah.
So
if you want a quick game, just be a Grey Knight player. It's like, you got 5 models and you can kill 2 a turn. It's like this,
Yeah, that's it.
No, that's right. What's your favorite model, Castle?
No, I'm just going to have to say the flayed ones and not even go back.
Yeah, you love
on that. just for
the hacks.
No, it's the 10 points and the versatility. Like,
yeah.
Well, that's they're as much as a guardsman. 10 points as a guardsman.
I still think the best model, points-wise, and effectiveness is the Tau gun drone. I think it's the best. Well, besides the recon drone, but you can only have one of those, right? So I'm just going to say the Tau gun drone because you can have a lot of them. For 7 points, it is pretty ridiculous. You've got 4 shots from 2 different guns, so 2 different targets. It can fly over everything. It can get every secondary objective under the sun. You can save your protocol people. You can do all sorts. Greater good, everyone. For 7 points, it's awesome. I got to say, I think that's a very powerful unit. But there are some others too. But that's probably my pick, I would say. Besides, Custodes, that's probably the most powerful model, right?
Yeah.
Or one of them, anyway. So I suppose going the flip side of that, what do you got? What would you see, Scott, as as probably the least powerful or most overrated? Maybe overrated is a good word, or too expensive for what it can actually do.
Expensive for what they are,
or just you just don't like it, or it just doesn't perform well.
I would say the Death Guard Terminators.
They're expensive. Yeah,
42 points.
Oh, dude, yeah. Unless you're in America, you're paying 125. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no. You don't have the room. You take one of those models and there's nothing else. You've got no room for anything. It's one Terminator and 2 Plague Marines, or one Terminator and a handful of Poxwalkers. I don't understand, because when we're here, we're playing 100-point games, and even down in the tournament, all our games are 100 points.
Yeah, unfortunately.
There's no room for a Death Guard Terminator, whether it be Blight Lord or otherwise.
Well, you have that in a whole bunch of Poxwalkers. It's and maybe one Marine or something. Yeah, it's a bit tight, eh?
It's too tight. When there's other Terminators there for 25 points, I realise that they, the extra toughness and whatever else, but
they're hard to kill. Yeah,
we
did. Yeah, we did an experiment. There was a video we did a little while back, and we have these sort of bullshit sort of scenarios we put ourselves in. I took an Orc Boy spam. I think I had 10 Orc Boys and 10 Gretchen, I think it was, Scott, and he had a Death Shroud Terminator, and it was to see if we could kill it. It was 100 points. He had and a couple of other Marines, and I ended up surrounding him all with Orc Boys and 3 attacks each. And just to see, just from volume of attack, to see if it would work. And no, he ended up winning and kicking my ass. So they are pretty tough, especially with even getting through that wound on a Terminator when you've got no AP, and then they get disgustingly resilient. It's just and then they've got 8 multiple wounds. It's oh my god. Yeah, so it was a game of chance, but the Terminator came off better from the Death Guard. They are a good model, but yeah, I agree, they're super expensive.
Yeah, the other one would be probably the Death Watchmaster.
Oh yeah, yeah.
One dude, you take him and you bulk him out. That's 130 something points, I think. So your whole list, your whole, it's one guy.
And even playing Commanders, it's usually 200 points. So it's that's a lot. That's
even at 100, if you just want to do 125, it's still one dude. And even when you step up again to your 200s with your commanders or whatever else, there's still not. Once again, it's not a lot of wiggle room.
No, not at all. Yeah, I think. What do you think about Commanders in general? Do you ever play with Kill Team Commanders, or
we haven't?
No. I don't find it as competitive. I'm a bit of a competitive player, even if it's for fun. I just don't find it as competitive, and it sort of takes away. this is just me. Like there's people over in Europe who play competitive commanders, and they seem to have fun and they seem to do a good job. But I haven't done it myself. I played it a couple of games with my Harlequins. Actually had a Death Jester, a couple of things. I've done that. But I think it's just a little bit. It takes a little bit away from the kill team. You know what I mean? Like I like that. Just that specialist team. They're pretty easy to kill. You've only got a few of them. You know what I mean? Like it could be a bit overpowered, I think, in some respects.
It goes from a kill team to a small force. Like there's
to a small 40k battle. Yeah, it's kind of like yeah. That's right. That's how I see it too. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we haven't even dipped our toe into commanders yet. Like it's just because all the tournaments here don't do it. We don't. I bought the book, had a look through it, and it's sitting on my bookshelf just doing nothing because we don't use it.
And no one else does too. Yeah, that's
and no one else does. Yeah. If the scene, like if the meta up, this north side of Brisbane, even in Brisbane in general, if the meta was to use commanders, whatever else, fair enough. But
yeah, give it a go, I guess. But yeah,
we just don't play like that, so there's no need.
And have you played much Kill Team Arena? Do you like that?
Yeah,
like as opposed to because we normally, anyone who's listening, we're all from Australia, we're all from around the same area, so we usually just play open tournaments on open boards. So there is no. I think Canberra at CanCon we're running a Kill Team Arena tournament. Anyone below, if I'm wrong, let me know. All right, because I don't know. I am going to try and aim to get there when these restrictions lift because I'd like to play Arena. It's have you played a lot for one? I find it quite good. I like it. It takes it back to that sort of Space Hulk sort of two-dimensional board game sort of thing, and I quite like that. I think it really fits in well.
We play a fair bit of it actually, to the point where, like I was showing you guys beforehand, the terrain that I've built for them.
Yeah.
You mind if I grab them out? Is that cool?
Yeah, please. Yeah. Live, yeah.
So I've just done up. Basically, I set the side of the board, which is the orange one with the the grates for the floors.
Yep.
All the designs for there are basically I've done that out of 3mm. MDF, and then just use the older, G'd up terrain to make small little, that's got a little crane and stuff inside, and then
so that just sits. It's designed to sit on the board, basically.
And
it's got the door there already built into it. Yeah, oh, it's great. Yeah.
Yeah. So like this is the one, the long piece through the middle of the board, and then the side parts. So I've got literally once this all hits the board, I won't say it changes it, but it just makes it more immersive is what it would be,
And so what you're really saying is when the restrictions lift, we're going to come over and we're going to play this at one of the Mount Gravatt stores on your new board, and we'll do a live stream.
Dude, I would so do that. Bring it all down and
yeah. No, we've done it before. We've shot from Mount Gravatt before. We've shot from Ace Comics and Games before. We've shot from Irresistible Force. They're all pretty good at those places. Did we shoot Irresistible Force? I can't remember.
No, I don't.
think so yet. No,
we definitely played there.
But we did the other two. Yeah, that was a lie. The other two were right. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, dude.
I'd happily, I literally finished it all this afternoon and primed it all up.
Yep.
So now it's, another, whenever I get round to it, just to airbrush it up and paint it up. So
yeah, great idea.
All up, I think it took me about 40 hours. And that was basically, 99% of that was trying to space things out and, using plastic art and what can I put here. It was just, doing it wasn't the hard part. It was figuring out what's going to look good and work well.
And have you retained any of the actual board, or is it all like in Tetris sort of sections which just sort of fill the whole?
No. So I'm just the board. So when I see you guys next time we break this out, it'll just be the kill team board, the arena board from the box.
Yep.
And then just go on top in the blacked out parts.
Yep.
And
cool. That's it. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Yep. Fantastic. Yeah, that'll look awesome. Yeah, I have seen a few people like online that right into their arena do that. I would like to have a tournament here like they do in America or UK where they have 1 day arena, 1 day open. Really cool. I'd like to see something like that. Don't know if Games Workshop are probably going to go there, but I think independently as gamers we'll probably figure something out eventually. Even because our scene isn't massive.
Yeah, like we could put it to to the guys at Mount Gravatt if we get enough people. Do a 2 day and do, like I said, 1 day arena, 1 day whatever. Yeah. I would be so in that.
Totally different. Yeah, totally different dynamic. You're going to get different people winning because like people are going to be more into arena and better at that two-dimensional gameplay than open play because it's just a natural thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and even
yeah.
even my Death Guard is what I'm, playing heavily or was playing heavily before the lockdown. Every command roster, every list plays completely different in arena.
Exactly.
So much different.
Like Orcs, man. Orcs are amazing in arena. Like they're my favorite arena team. Like they're really good. Just so good having all those blind charges and not getting mowed down by everything. It's fantastic for an orc player.
Even with arena, I love that you can pay the command point and have that infinity style. As soon as you see them, then you can do that Overwatch.
Yeah, which is great.
It's awesome.
Yeah, no, I agree. Totally cool. And what other supplements? I mean, annual. There hasn't been a lot of supplements, but they're the main two. Rogue Trader. Do you ever play that at all?
I haven't, to be honest.
Either have I. Just quietly.
Not in saying that though. It's not that I don't want to. I can't find a box of it anymore. I had an opportunity to pick up a box fairly cheap.
Yeah.
Someone else said, "Look, can I buy it?" And whatever. I'm like, yeah, okay. I've got. It's not like I don't have enough shit in my garage.
Come on, man. Said no gamer ever. Yeah.
But I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. That's not a drama.
Yeah.
And then that was the last time I had ever seen a box, and that was over 6 months ago.
Yeah.
There's a little shop that I found in Corinda. I go there like when I was actually working from work and not from home. I'd stop there every once a week or something, and there was always a Rogue Trader box there, and it's like, yeah, I just can't buy that. Like I just can't, and now it's gone, and it's like I really should have bought it.
Try buy any Games Workshop at the moment, right? Like I bought out everywhere, But yeah.
So that's probably my biggest hang up is that I didn't grab that box. Like I didn't be the asshole and take it for myself. And I regret it now. I'm trying to find it, and you're looking at like $300 to $400 on eBay.
Yeah. And Games Workshop are really bad at re-releasing shit. They're just like, oh my god, guys.
Yeah.
People want to buy the shit. It's like these specialty games that they buy, they bring out. Like I love Epic. I love like Epic and Armageddon. You know what I mean? Like that scale, my favorite. Jeez, man. It's basically just community run now, like most things, like Kill Team. Like that'll go that way eventually too, I guess. But
yeah, I'm as much as GW said, support and whatever else, there hasn't been a lot of love for us in the last 6 months, really.
Not a lot, no.
We got the annual, which is just the conglomerate of all the White Dwarfs from last year.
If you're like, I'm sure the three of us all collect White Dwarf, so we had all the rules for most of that anyway. They totally nerfed my Orc team, by the way, like for no reason. Like only orcs. Yeah. It's like,
yeah. But yeah, it's oh god, I lost my train of thought then. Anyway, keep going. It's all good.
We're talking about Rogue Trader. That's cool.
Oh, that's right.
I was just going through each of the supplements and seeing what you had and what you played. We try and play everything we can. Have you actually played Tabletop Simulator? Have you been into that aggressively, I guess, like we have? We've sort of been into it?
No. But one of the other guys, that I hobby with, he does a lot of Tabletop Simulator, and he's always at me. He's like, dude, if you can't play, jump on Tabletop Simulator. I'm like, and I think I'm going to bite the bullet and have a go. Yeah. Because now that I'm seeing a lot more people playing it, there's going to be a lot more chances for games here and there or whatever to pick up.
Yeah, man. It's not just it's not just like Kill Team. Like you can get anything. 40k. You want to play 40k. You want to play Epic. As I was saying, like it's got amazing Epic armies on there, models that people have done.
And it's not just it's not just Warhammer, but Tabletop Simulator is the game simulator for nearly every single board game.
Anything you want to make, that's what I love about it.
And once again, it's community driven. Guys doing mods for whatever they want, and there's just so much. It's just I didn't have. For the games that I played, there was no one to play with, so I just sort of palmed it off. But now that, with COVID and all this other crap, wow, it has sprung up, and lots of people are doing it right now.
Yeah, sure, and rightfully so. I mean, I'm old school. Like I'm old school. I like human interaction and contact. That's why I like gaming. I'm always by myself, like you guys are, modeling and, like painting and stuff. So it's nice that social interaction. And, I'm Sydney's kid like you guys are. So it's just, that's how I like to roll. I like computer games. They have their spot, but this is sort of an intermediate at the moment for me. It's sort of pretty good.
I would rather play a game where I can actually throw dice at people that pick
yeah, that's right. Hey, you can flip the table in Tabletop Simulator. You can shits. You can just flip it. Yeah. So just a few guys, So yeah.
It was actually funny. Like 7 months ago, I mentioned Tabletop Simulator to Luke, and we because like there's 200 kilometers between us. And it's like, well, we should probably get some games through like that, but we didn't really do anything about it, and then everything, all hell breaks loose.
Because I'm not really like that. I'm not like computer games. I like computer games, like I always have, but I like tabletop games and miniature games better.
The tabletop game is for the tabletop, not for a computer.
I haven't spent 100 hours painting this team or something just so I can, have a model on the computer. You know what I mean? It's like
a model that paints itself, and and
it's like, oh, yeah, you bastards, yeah. Bloody nerds.
Oh no! I looked into what it takes to scan one of your models into that game, and it's just like no. Whoever does it, they can do it.
Yeah, so they've got pretty much everything anyway. Especially Warhammer, who's so popular. You can pretty much get everything. I even found a really good crew model team on there, so you can find most teams, even the little ones. So it's not bad on that respect. So on this token, what do you think is the most underrated faction? Either Games Workshop treats it as the most underrated, or just play-wise, no one uses it, or you think it's awesome and everyone thinks it's shit? Something you see as potential, but just no one else does, or something. You know what I mean?
I think it's the Galapox, all the nurgly bloated dudes from Rogue Trader.
Yep.
Some of those models, whether they're decent on the board or not, but God, they're a good sculpt.
Yeah.
I just want to see them on the board,
Yeah. There was a guy at LVO, I think it was, States. He won his bracket for the first day with Galapox.
Yeah.
But he's been the only player that I've heard of that has actually played them. There's probably some out there, but there was a guy who did actually pretty good with them. There seemed to be like a movement kind of force. Like they're not, obviously some of the models are very low toughness. You just zap them.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do have a few shenanigans with moving, and it'd be good for secondary objectives and stuff like that. So yeah, Galapox for sure.
I would love to, and that's in me wanting to get a box of. That's one of the driving forces behind me wanting to get a box of Rogue Traders, because I want to play that list. Because like I said, to start with, it's the rule of cool. They look schmick.
Yeah, for sure. You got a team, Skysol?
Not really, but I'm just going to have to say Psychic Awakening for Death Guard.
Psychic Awakening.
Come on, we need more stuff.
You reckon? Yeah, we need more shit, don't we? What do you think the next supplement is going to be, Scott? Like, if you were just going to guess, your Magic Ball, like, what would you see the Games Workshop, the direction they'd probably go in if they're going to make out something like Elites, or they're going to expand the Kill Team universe a little, like the next major supplement, I guess? Or they're just going to make another fucking box set with
I would love another box set. On that side note,
new terrain.
I cannot wait for the new Fabius model. On a side note. But as far as releases, I haven't really kept up with Psychic Awakening enough to make a guess. So I'm sort of going to be that guy and bow out on that one.
Yeah. You got any ideas, Castle? Just a guess. Like, you're not going to hold it.
I honestly think that we might get a 2.0 soon. Like, because the annual was like let's just make a nice cash grab type thing. So, and we really haven't, as you said, we haven't got that much. Yeah, we haven't got that much for Kill Team. Like the White Dwarf that I think has already dropped. No, it's next month, next week. That has nothing in it.
Scheduled it, yeah.
So
no Kill Team. That's the first one that hasn't had anything Kill Team for a little bit, isn't it? They've had least little things. They had those other faction type of things, specialists that you could be and stuff, which
So
I'm not a narrative player so much, so I didn't really care too much about those ones. But
even bringing some of the Blackstone Fortress models across to Kill Team, that was awesome as well.
that was not a bad move. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, they've sort of done everything they can with what they've got at the moment, the Kill Team. So, I would love some new terrain. I would love a new box set. I'm just waiting for it. They've said, we'll support it. We've got the Kill Team as the small, and then 40K, and then, the bigger battles as well.
Yeah.
And they want to support all that, but it's sort of tapering.
Yeah, I can sort of see it in elites too. You know what I mean? There's a lot of units that could be used within Kill Team that haven't been used. You know what I mean? Like there's some really good examples. Like even as you're running and stuff, you could bring in some of the other aspect warriors. Like the Death Reapers and stuff. The stuff that hasn't been Swooping Hawks. Something. There's a lot of models potential there. Like obviously I want Noise Marines. I think they should bring them in.
Hellblasters.
Hellblasters. Yeah, exactly, for Marines. So you can see there. I think. If I was going to do it, I was going to predict. I think you could almost have an elites too. I don't know how they're going to package that. I hope so. This is what I'm hoping, because I love models and toys like you guys, right? Or terrain. Like they could probably bring a better box set out, like as a starter set. I mean, that one had two teams which were fairly underwhelming. Like they brought out the Fire Warriors. No one uses that with Tau anyway.
That second starter set that they brought out really wasn't much.
Yeah. It was a bit of a flop. Like if you're going to be a narrative player, sure. Like great. But like if you get in a competitive sense, it's like you know what I mean. I still use all the Warcry scenery. I bought just the scenery part of Warcry online, and just it's been great. Like I like that. And then just been making my own stuff and just old shit from I've got 100,000 games behind me. But yeah. So I guess on that subject, how long have you been into like Games Workshop specific stuff? You look like you're in our age, in your 40s, probably like we are. You look 80.
All right, so I'm 2 years off that 40.
So you're young compared to us.
I'm still yeah. I've been in and out of Games Workshop since 98-ish.
And what was it that got you into? What was the first Games Workshop product that you thought, this is the shit?
Blood Bowl.
You know what I mean? Blood Bowl, yeah.
Yep.
I'm an old Blood Bowl player too. I think, yeah.
I've got a set painted upstairs that sits on the we've got a board game sort of area.
Yep.
Here at home, it sits there. But yeah, that's what drew me in first.
What's your favorite team with Blood Bowl?
I'll say humans.
Yeah, I'm a Wood Elf player. I've always liked Wood Elves.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what drew me in, and then from there, like I sort of took a decent break. I would probably have been 8 years or so. So 2007, 8 years. So 2008 ish. I had a break and then came in around 6th again.
Yep.
And then went, jumped out, and then came back in for 8th edition, and started there, and I've been dabbling for, since 98-ish.
Yeah, cool, man. I remember for me it was the original. It was actually Rogue Warhammer 40. Like before it was Warhammer 40,000 total. It was Rogue Trader. It was more of a role playing game. Like we were all playing D&D and stuff like that back then. And then I remember Rogue Trader, we came across it and it was just awesome. Like I still love the artwork and I still love the style of it. Probably the best out of the 40k stuff. Like that's just me. It wasn't really a mass battle game then. It was more of an aid, like you'd play D&D now with a board and miniatures. And it was more of a role play kind of setup. But it was just a really rich world. I still love all the writing from that time too. That grimdark kind of stuff. I guess
all the old illustrations are just still awesome. Like they're really grimy. Black and white sketches of
You could tell it was just some dudes who were really passionate about it and they didn't have a lot of money to fucking got in there and just did whatever they thought was awesome at the time. What do you got there?
There we go.
Just a little bit of flexing.
Yeah, for flex. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all the there
Yeah,
you
you
go.
got Rogue Trader as well. Yeah, that's my one.
It still holds up now. Like the old sketches of Ezekiel Abbott. All that stuff is still cool now. Like if I could find a decent sized poster of all those older style sketches and prints,
Yeah.
I would love it.
And I remember Fantasy Battle was bigger back when first Fantasy Battle was huge. I remember I used to be into that for a bit. And then all the little subsidiary things. Epic, always loved Epic, the original ones of that as well. But then I had a massive hiatus too. I never gave up wargaming. I've been playing other games for I probably had nearly a 20, or close to 20 year break from Warhammer stuff because it was a bit too commercial for me. I didn't like the whole aspect of it. Kill Team is what actually brought me back, and this is a couple of years ago now. So Kill Team actually inspired me to want to do Warhammer again because I've always wanted to. I liked all the factions. I didn't want to just settle on one. You play Warhammer 40,000. You invest $2,000 into this army, and it's shit. You know what I mean? And it's and then they change the rules, and suddenly it's not competitive anymore. I didn't want that, and I never wanted that sort of. And to me, it's always been just a massive buckets of dice game with not as much strategy. This one, I think, Kill Team really piqued my interest because it had more of a strategic element in it, which I like because I like that competitive, I'd play chess or something. That's the sort of person I'm challenge myself. Challenge myself is probably the best way to put it.
I just didn't have the time to spend 3 or 4 hours playing a 2,000 point game.
Exactly.
And that was the crux for me, and it went from 2,000 points down to 100 points, and I straight away, without even batting an eyelid, I was straight onto it.
Me too. Yeah. As soon as I heard it, I'm like, this is the game. This is what I've wanted. I can buy 10 armies now, and that's what I've done.
And I've got stacks of stuff in a stack of containers, yay high with unpainted plastic and metal in there. The Grey Knights that I've got are all metal. The Thousand Suns are metal. They're just little teams you can pick up and use the older style, and it's still cool.
Yeah, I've got a retro Azurani team. I've got all the original models from the 80s, and that it's really cool. It's one of my favorite ones, with all the original sculpts and stuff in metal. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it was just like I said, for me it was the time that I didn't have to spend anymore.
Yeah.
You'd go for a day and play against. You get one game in on a Sunday. Every second Sunday. Whereas now, we have, a small, crew of guys that, every Tuesday once, pre-COVID and post, we'll get 3 games out in an evening.
Yeah.
It's so much better. And even in that the group of guys that you play with, because you're playing against a lot of different guys, there's more of a base and, the older way where you used to go down to hang out with your mates, that's back. That's the other thing that drew me in was the fact that you can build your community, build your friendships and whatever else a lot easier.
Especially when you're a guy who's married, who's got kids and stuff. It makes it hard to just go, I'm going to go play this game. It's going to drag on till freaking 1 a.m. in the morning. You know what I mean? Where you can have 3 games or 3 or 4 games of Kill Team in that time. I mean, which is, you can see in the tournament scene. You can fit 4 games in a day. Even when Kysel and I have been filming, we've done some bat raps, we can get 3 in a day. You know what I mean? And that's with all the filming setup and all that other crap. So, it runs well. It runs quick. That's what I do. What about you, Kysel? What was your first? I mean, you and I grew up together. We always played shit together back in the day when we were in school.
Well, I came in I came in via the D&D and that sort of stuff, and I think it was when I met you, that's when I started getting into 40k. I think it was 40k first, and then we may have regressed to just fantasy battles, and we left 40k, and then I think we just left Warhammer altogether.
We did for ages, and went into other games. So I guess I'm interested in like all this. What are you painting right now? I know you're doing terrain shows, terrain. What kill team or non-kill team? What's on the bench? What are you?
Non-kill team at the moment. I'm painting up on my Blackstone Fortress.
Yep.
I've got literally retinue character, and then Montbrand and Janice Drake are my 3 at the moment.
Yeah, sweet.
Like I said, I just finished the terrain today, so that'll be my my big painting, and then my nightly painting will be those guys just to chop through it all.
Cool.
When literally just before COVID happened, we started Blackstone Fortress, within our group. We sort of put Kill Team on the back burner for a little bit, and we've got that, or we did have that going. And this will give me the time to paint them up. So when we get back to it, we'll have a fully painted Blackstone Fortress set. Just waiting on the Zope to come out, and then the last release, and then that'll be it, from what I understand. So yeah, that's Blackstone Fortress is on my painting at the moment.
Cool, man. And you rate it as a game? Like,
absolutely.
You enjoy it?
Yeah,
cool.
I've gone through it twice now, and it's different every time.
Cool.
Not just the fact that you can, when you get back to Precipice, you can change characters however you want, but just the way that other people play, the way other people think, and then communicate within that group, within the other three, because you have, four adventurers and then one hostile. So it's, a game of 5 people. Just the way that other people think about things and put ideas forward is where the replayability of it really is.
Yeah, cool. And Castle, you've got painting Death Guard. You're always painting Death Guard. Oh, you've got your entire Tyranid force. You have to go to your.
Well, yeah.
Between.
I was just going to say, like, there's pretty much all of those that I'm painting.
Gaunts. Yeah.
Just do the army painter style and just start dipping them in, and then
and yeah, also like there's the DGs from
rest of
Japan.
Death Guard. You've painted a lot of them. Yeah.
What's that with the wings on it that I saw?
Possessed. Oh
yeah.
Shit. Yeah.
Oh, that's the old style. Yeah. I did a squad of raptors with those older wings. When I first came back for 8th Ed, I was playing Chaos for a bit, and I did up a squad of, I think it was a squad of 5 with the just normal Marines with the possessed wings on the back.
Yeah, I've got a couple of those in HA.
I love them. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're
currently.
Oh yeah, I was about to say they were almost ready to be primed, and I was woken up a week ago, I reckon, by this crashing in the middle of the night. I just couldn't figure out what it was. 3 a.m., like someone breaking in. That morning when I got up and looked in my garage, basically the entire shelving off the wall of the garage has fallen on the ground. So it's like, well, crap, like I can't undercoat this stuff now. I have to clean up my garage. So yeah, painting is paused for work reasons, and also I need to really fix up my garage. So
yeah. Well, at the moment I'm finishing off my HA. I'll just be eventually. I've got doing some Terminator there. I've got, this is cool, the old school Berserker. This is a really old model. That's the old school one.
I've got a couple of those guys, yeah.
Yeah. I got him. I've had a lot of stuff floating around. I've got a Chaos Champion there with a pink hand. Yeah, just doing those, catching up on stuff. I'm also painting some Last Days Apocalypse, Zombie Apocalypse. I played a lot of that. That's really fun. Got a lot of survivors over there. I'm doing just a whole biker gang, and then a whole gang of female survivors who are like corporate babes who have sort of been locked in this, and they look really cool. But yeah, other than that, this mission is going to be Tyranids. I think the whole Tyranid force. And I watched this bloody thing online. Now it's inspired me to want to do it. This guy, this awesome paint, better than me. He does this. It's called a what is it? What's it? Some sort of crab pattern.
The coconut one.
Dots. Coconut crab. That's it. Yeah, look it up online if anyone's. It's amazing. Like, it's probably the best Tyranid theme I've seen. And it's all concentric dots. Like, so it's all comes from a central ridge, and then it's dots within dots of different colors, and it looks amazing. It's based off like the coconut crab itself from Earth.
I'm literally looking up coconut crabs right now.
Yeah. Look up coconut crab Tyranids. It's really good. So I'm going to try that. I'm not going to say I'm going to succeed, and I'm not going to say I'm going to be patient enough because it's like 50 of the little suckers to paint. So I don't know. Yeah, you like that? Yeah, that's not mine. Yeah, but that's the theme, and it's amazing, dude. Yeah,
in the browns and the cream and the black.
Yeah. And it all just blends in together with dots, and the dots are within each each opposite color, and it looks amazing. It's mainly just dot work. Yeah. So, and the actual model themselves is basically very basic, like all the actual skin and stuff. It's just the carapaces that are very detailed. But that actually makes the model really pop out. I think like that.
That's stipple painting times 100.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, really effective. He does some tutorials if you want to look it up. That inspired me. He did some other ones too, but he took other Earth creatures and then used them as inspiration for Tyranid carapaces. Really good, awesome painter, and some really good ideas too. That's the next big project for me, I guess, is the Tyranids. It was a challenge. I don't know if you were involved in that, but I think it was 40K Kill Team Facebook page, because there's like 3 or 4 of them, but the 40K one, a dude put out a challenge. He was like, list all your armies and then look at the guy above you and then recommend what that person should buy next. So I went in it because I need more armies, like a hole in the head, obviously. But so I listed my 10 or whatever I had for there and said these are my favorites, blah blah blah. Recommended something for the guy above me, but the guy below me recommended Tyranids, which is great because it's like that's kind of what I wanted to collect next anyway, which worked out good. So then Kaisel there had a whole bunch of Tyranids laying around that he's had sitting around. So we challenged each other and pretty much said, look, let's both collect Tyranids and then we'll talk about it and I'll do some videos and stuff. So that's pretty much where that one went. Yeah.
The scheme that I'm thinking about getting, but I have to get the paint for it, and I don't want to say the name because of the whole legal thing, but the Vallejo / green stuff color paint that changes colors.
Yes.
Yeah, basically putting that on. Putting that on the carapace so that it looks like a beetle. So you look at it and like
a Christmas beetle or whatever. Yeah, that shine sort of.
That would be chatoyant. That's the word. Yeah, that'd look pretty good.
Yeah, so
that's a big word for a Wednesday. What?
No, bro, what's going on? I haven't had any beers. I'm thinking straight. That's what's wrong with me.
So if I can find that paint somewhere, I'll probably do that for my Tyranids.
Cool.
So
nice, man. And so this is a pretty simple question. I think I already know the answer to this one, but would you consider yourself a narrative, a casual, or a competitive player, or a mix of some of those things?
A casual, competitive. The games that we have are all based around competitive points and whatever else. But we're just a bunch of laid-back guys wanting to roll dice and kick around for a few hours. Which sort of even like when we were kicking around down at Mount Gravatt, it was still everyone commented like it's no different to playing with your mates. Like it was serious, but
as it should be.
We were just laughing and hanging shit on each other and just just doing whatever. And it was a really good atmosphere to have a tournament in. That would be casual
competitive, which is probably what I suppose we'd fall into as well. It's we're always casual. I play casual games with heaps of people and just for funsies. But I do like my competitive stuff. I do like to test myself, as you guys probably do too. And to test your lists, that's what interests me too, is the math hammer of it all, the working out stuff, the time you've invested into thinking about it, and seeing if it actually applies against real human opponents who are good. That's how I like to see it. I like to see if it.
Like we even as we're playing on a Tuesday night, someone will, one of the boys will do a move or do something, like, okay, stop. Why? And what about this? Like we'll coach each other at times. If something's like fairly blatant, you're like, okay, why this? With Sam, I don't tell him a damn thing. But with the rest of the guys, we sort of, because we're that casual, we've got that casual strain to our gaming. We will bounce ideas like that off each other and there's no animosity in it.
Yeah, of course. Well, shouldn't be animosity to plastic because
Yeah.
and grown men and women.
I'd rather not be a neckbeard.
Exactly. Yeah,
So,
they do exist. They do exist.
Oh, they do. Everywhere has them. But yeah, that's why the casual bit, because it's not overly serious. Even though it is, So,
I've got to say, with Kill Team, I haven't really encountered that so much, like the neckbeardiness or the there's rules things, and I'm like this too. Like like I like to know my rules. I'm very particular when I play. Like I like to record things because I've got bad memory. There's things that I do for myself. But yeah, I haven't really encountered anything where it's been an argument or anything. So it's kind of like if I've got this wrong and I could have this wrong. Let me know, and let's just judge, or if you haven't known, it's always like, shit, let's just roll a dice. You know what I mean? If you beat me, I don't care. You win. You know what I mean? Like on ruling, like, and I think that's a pretty good way to roll. That's how I've sort of approached it in the past. But yeah, I know. Well, Kaisel, you've won best player before. You're probably better than that. I can be a bit intense sometimes because I'm thinking in my head about things, but you seem to be.
I generally don't know how I got the what was it? It wasn't best player. It was like most.
But the most honourable player, whatever that.
Player's favourite or whatever. Yeah.
Player's favourite, whatever that one's called.
Yeah, I think it was more because I approached the games as a game, and it's like, let's just have fun. And at the same time, I was learning against different factions that I've never played against.
We brought you to as well. Like that was your first one, and we'd sort of crash coursed and mashed as many games into you as I could to get you up to speed. I remember that. Yeah,
and that's the one I won that award. And that was because I pretty much took it. I wasn't sitting there just like going, "Oh, this is what it is." Yeah. But also making the game fun. So
No, like I had some really bad moments there, and like where it was pivotal moment, and something just got wiped out, and it's like, you know what, that's fucking awesome. Fist pump the dude, like, good on you. That's good. You should murder me. I deserve to die.
And even though the final table you're at, when we're all crowded around, like it was literally and everyone just went, "Rah!" Like just
you're right. No, that game, I was like. What? Like, we the ones still playing? Like, and you guys were all watching us like, what?
It's like your table, like, like that's what it's about,
Yeah. No, that's right. No, that was pretty fun. I think you can answer us the next question, guys. I've been going hard.
Do we have any others?
We ran off. We've got a couple there. Have you got any? Have you got one, or you want me to do one?
Oh, I was just, basically just a general question of, do you have any intention to travel interstate to CanCon whenever this is basically lifted, or have you been, or international?
No, I haven't done anything. I haven't done any decent travel. I would love to go to CanCon. I've got a couple of friends who run the 40K side of CanCon. And I want to get down there, like even if I'm not playing, just to go down. But like if I'm going to go down there, I might as well throw a commander roster together, or even just take one that I've already got. But I would love to travel overseas to play, or B, go to CanCon. I would love to be able to go to Warhammer World and play a few games of Kill Team there. Just for the point of saying I've been to Warhammer World.
It'd be cool to go to your Las Vegas Open or something, big one. So
LVO would be amazing.
Yeah,
it would just be such an information overload that you would you'd forget half of what you've seen. Like from what I understand, it is massive. It is massive.
Oh, well, Kill Team would be one of the smallest components of it. Like imagine.
Yeah, and it's not just that, but every other war game that's there as well. Just to see. And knowing that it's so big would just be amazing to be a part of, even just once. Yeah,
no, I agree. Yeah, no, just even once would be awesome. And I got some mates in Las Vegas. That'd be cool. I'm sure that'd be fun. Some of the nightlife would be pretty fun. And we get married by us or something while we're there as well. So
might as well marry a couple of strippers while I'm there.
Marry strippers, lose all our mortgage our houses. Fucking Your wives would be stoned for some of the back. Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I haven't, like, other than way back when, I want to say it was 95. Luke and I used to go to Toowoomba to OzCon up there. This was back in the D&D days and that sort of stuff. But I haven't actually. I only just found out about CanCon last year, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna
play D&D there. And you've also been, guys, when I had my own game and promoting it at BrisBeCon.
Oh yeah,
like
we did.
Years ago, like early 2000, yeah. Like we were doing that, doing the circuit as well.
We did do that. But ever since finding out about CanCon, because I really haven't gone to conventions, and it wasn't until I started going to a fighting game convention in Japan that I basically saw what it was all about, and it's like, hey, it's not so much about the game, but it's just the community. And so when I heard about CanCon, it's like, okay, I'm definitely going next time it's running. And then this happened.
Tekken, don't you?
Yeah,
for Tekken, the video game, yeah, like the console.
Illegal backstreet fighting, like, do that.
Fight Club, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but while I was over there, that's where I jumped in. I'm like, okay, a mission of mine while I'm over there is to buy that season 3, series 3. So
sick. The models are off the scale. Hey, like they're just so good. Some of those ones.
I've seen the pictures. I would love to, like, some of the local. Well, one of the local zing has some of the series 1 still.
Mm-hmm.
They've got it, and I'm like, bring some of these ones. They're like, we don't get a choice. Like, I don't know how to get even just the box of them here.
Yeah. There was, I think, Emperor, the store online had them, but they're sold. I have recently started everything, like everywhere, but they did have some a little while. But you got a link there, guys, or what? Some.
I'm just going to check. There's a place that I go to called Zen Market that basically you can buy off Yahoo auctions in Japan, and they'll ship it to you. Like, because a lot of the Yahoo auctions won't actually ship outside of Japan. So they ship them to their local distro, and basically you can have 30, 40 auctions come in, they'll box it all into one box and then ship it on. So I'm going to go check to see if there's any on there, because the price...
we need to talk offline a bit more about that.
Yeah.
we need this season. We all need it. We need more models. So, surely.
I think it was 6,000 yen or something, maybe 7,000, which turned out to be about which was about $80 for 5 or 6 models. So
but the complete set too, right? They sell them in complete sets.
Yeah. So there's some legal issue in Japan where you can't, if they're going to sell you a set, it has to be the complete set. So where all the other series, they're like, oh, it's blind box, you can get whatever you want. No, you have to sell a complete set. So I was looking at the prices after getting back, and people are selling this set for $150, and it's like, no, don't get screwed.
No.
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy literally just to buy a box of blinds and just go through a box, you know?
Yeah. So, but I'll find out if I can get it, but if not, I've got a friend who has family over there that could probably organise something. So
that would be cool. Yeah, absolutely.
Because after coming back and talking to people about it, they're like, "Oh, why didn't you get me one?" And I'm like, "Well, I didn't know. I didn't know you at the time." So
you heard of baggage on a plane? Scott, what's your favourite non-game workshop game? Do you play any other games outside Games Workshop?
Non-Games Workshop games?
Yeah, like miniature war game.
To be honest, it's not really a board game as such. It's called Klask. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of it before. It's a Swedish game. It's, how would you say, it's air hockey with a ball on a small table. It's a raised little platform. You've got like a little magnetized, basically a little puck underneath. There's a hole at one end, a hole at the other end. You've got 3 little white counters that that are magnetized, and that is probably one of the best games best non-Games Workshop games that I've got.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Kaiser?
Oh yeah, it's pretty much Warhammer at the moment.
At the moment,
yeah.
I've played lots of games. I've got hundreds of different games back here, but probably I like Dystopian Wars. I don't know if you guys have heard of that one. I've probably told you about it, Kaiser. It's dystopian.
I think I've heard of it.
Now, it's recently just been picked up. The War Cradle Studios that purchased it. They do a bunch of good games too, but they've just recently done it. It combines all three theaters of war, so you've got like naval, air, and land battles all going on at once, and it's an epic scale, massive, big dystopian, steam-powered robots. It really might be one of my favorite games for ages. I like Star Wars Armada as well. Board Star Wars Armada that came out. That's really good. It's very strategic. Like they've done the actual game itself. Like we put pre-planned moves, like 3 ahead sometimes, depending on the size of your star. As far as the Star Wars thing goes, it's an amazing game. Like Star Wars, I like that over the other Star Wars. It's really good. Very
X-Wing.
Very strategic. Yeah, I actually like Armada better personally myself. X-Wing's more of a skirmish sort of dogfight, where Armada's are more of a top scale, like you're commanding a fleet of vessels. You know what I mean? It's so much movement, and and you can veer off, you can hit things, and it's just really, really good strategic wars. I think pretty cool game. I think they've stopped producing that one, Armada one. Probably my two over the last 2 years. As far as other games go, other than that, last day zombie apocalypse plug there. It's heaps of fun. Yeah, if you like survivors, zombies, it's a campaign narrative game. So like, it's literally gaining experience. You're carrying better. You're getting you're sort of getting injured as you go, and you just got regular kind of dudes. And that's what I like. You just get zombies, you kill each other, you find resource points. It's pretty fun. You got to manage. A lot of it's in the management of your team, which I like too. And what you find, and then what you can do. You can either really luck out, or you can go really well. As you can imagine, but then your team can be in bloody shell-shocked and shaken from zombie incursions and missing. Now you can't use the shotgun. You've got to go to something else and pick up a club, and it's quite fun.
Wow.
Yeah, and fun to paint too. 28mm scale, and you can just go to town. There's so many producers of really good zombie miniatures and stuff in that scale as well. Those games at the moment probably my favorite non-games workshop, but I play a lot of non-games games like all the time. We do a few on our channel, and Gaslands is another one. If you heard of Gaslands?
No, I haven't heard of that. No.
Yeah, so basically you get Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars, convert them into like Mad Max things, and you go to town as a modeler. You just go to town on how you design. I've got this. I'll show you here if I lose contact here. So here's like here's one here. Which is a monster truck, which I've converted, basically and I've made this harpoon launcher, and this is like a cage thing here. It's got like blowers and spikes. So that's just one that I converted. There's a video I did on this one, but Gaslands is a really fun game. Hey, like if you're just gearhead, like machines and stuff like me, literally you just go into, like, it's embarrassing. Like you basically just walk into like Big W Kmart, and you go to the kids section, and you look at all of the really nice Hot Wheels cars stuff, and you think about how you could convert them to be like more Mad Max. And the game itself is actually really fun. It's very like, it's all like sort of like X-Wing with cars, but the cars that you've converted with like just mad bullshit. So Gaslands.
I just go upstairs to the kids' room and start doing this off their shelves.
Dude, literally, like all of my first ones were like invited the nephews over, stole half of their cars, converted some stuff. Like, check it out online. Like you can get like war rigs and stuff, and like it's just builds. Like it's literally like a modeler's hobby. Like the game itself, like is competitive, but they do compete with it. But it's more fun and shit can happen. But like it's more the modeling side of it, where you make these mad ass cars and stuff. And it's Mad Max. You spend hours just sitting there like playing with like toy cars, and get away with it as an adult. I go to Kmart and like look for new cars or trucks that I convert to rigs and shit, and like there's just mothers there looking at me like, yeah, okay, there's a dude over in the car section. It's for my nephews, sure, yeah.
You could even do a lifeline, do the second-hand shop sort of run around.
Yeah. Oh, dude, yeah. I've scoured those. I'm already all over it. Yeah.
It was kind of funny because the last tournament that we went to at Macrovat, Luke came up the night before, and I showed him a video of this, and he's just going, "You have done a very bad thing."
Obsessed, like everything I do. It's like, instantly obsessed. Now I've got cars everywhere. My wife's, "What the hell, man?" It's like, get rid of this shit.
Definitely sparked my interest, believe me.
Gaslands. I thought you might like that one. It's just cars and bikes, and it's heaps of fun. Trucks. Like I've got at the moment I'm converting a dump truck, so like a wheelie bin dump truck. And I think, man, that would be the ultimate bloody like Mad Max-ish car. It's already armored, like the back of it. I mean, so the mind boggles. You just start thinking of shit you could like add on there, and most of the things that you could think of are in the rules. Like they have like different teams and stuff. It's fairly loose. You can sort of go wherever you want with it. So have a look at that one. It's fun, and it's one you can play with you can play with the kids. When you can play, it's very like everyone like give it a go.
I'm just having a quick Google look as you're chatting.
Yeah.
And I think I've just done what you did.
I just got instantly obsessed. I was like, what cars? I can do this? Wow. So I was just straight into it. So sorry for those people who don't like non-Kill Team content. But it's everything's fun, man. Like there's so many good games out there, like for everyone who's listening. I know there's some diehard Warhammer guys, and I get it. Like a lot of my friends that I play with, I know they've invested so much into 40K that they're like, oh, it's got to be 40K or nothing because I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars and I've spent 10 years painting these two forces. You know what I mean? And I get that. Like, I really get that. But there's some fun games to be had with your friends with other stuff too. Give it a look.
Just don't play with him because he's cars have actual spikes on them.
Yeah, I actually use nails and shit. Like if you stood on them, like it fell off the table, you stood on them, you would injure yourself, definitely.
Yeah. It's like Lego times 10,
Yeah. Because I looked at it originally, and like I work with metal and things, so I was just like, oh yeah, I've got nails, I've got this here, I can add this metal plate there. I've got some. So all mine are actually pretty legit hardcore. They're not like plastic kits or anything. They're all steel. So
you carry around a shot of tetanus, like just
I actually think like if you get the shits at someone, you can throw it at someone, make sure it's rusted, and tear it. That was my plan.
Like a new level of that's cool.
Car Wars darts, yeah. Cool. So, any other questions you've got, Kysel?
No, that was it.
Yeah, cool. And anything else you'd like to say, Scott? Like, or any hobby things or questions you'd like to ask us? Or
just a broad thank you, really. Thank you for everyone's support so far, through Facebook, the comments that we've had, the appreciation that we've had from people. We see it and it makes a difference. Like for some of the times when it is a grind for the guys, knowing that there are people out there that really do appreciate what we're doing and they like the product that we have, it means the world to us. The best thing for me is what I've seen a few times is when I've played someone and they've opened up and Kill Team Manager's already there. That to me is.
I think I showed you that when we first. When I first met you, I was like, I've got to play that. I've got to play. I said, you've got to fix orcs. This is back when. I thought you've got to fix the orc knob bit. I said I remember when I saw you last. It's all done now, which is great. But I think on behalf of everyone else who would use Kill Team Manager, I think it's a really noble thing you're doing. And as just a gamer, like Kysel and I are both gamers, and everyone I've talked to really enjoys the program. Particularly now, it's awesome. You've updated it, fantastic. I'm going to continue using it, and I really recommend that people out there in YouTube world get onto it. And if you like Kill Team, it's a good way to get started too. You don't have to own all the models. You can plan your armies beforehand, and that's half the fun too. Like you can sort of say, oh, I can mix this together, and then you can make your rosters and you can make your battle hardened Kill Teams as well, and sort of just play around. So if you are looking at getting into like competitive play, it's really something that you could have a think about and you could have a play around with before you get there. And then you can print them if you like. If you're a weirdo Matt Hammer like me, and you like to have folders with little things that you've written down, and if this happens, do this. And if you're retarded like I am, you can do that as well. Or if you just like playing for fun, you can do that as well. So So I think, big thank you for you and the guys for like continuing on, and a really huge thank you for coming on our channel as well.
No worries,
It's our first interview. I think it's gone pretty good. All pretty casual sort of stuff, and we really appreciate the time you've taken to come in, and I hope that it draws some people to what you're doing there with the Kill Team Manager, and probably get us a few likes as well, which is always good. We just do it for fun as well. As we said, there's no money in this shit, so you'd be mad. We've all got full-time jobs, so for fun. I sort of come up from work at the end of the day, and I'm like, I've been thinking about something in my head with Kill Team, and I go like, here's the strategy, bang, record it. That's how I generally work. So it's all pretty slapdash occasionally, but this is good. I like this kind of format, and I like a bit of a round robin talking between people. It's just sort of like talking with friends. So really appreciate you coming on, and
no worries, guys.
Cool. Thanks heaps, mate.
Thanks.
All right, no worries.